Hello everyone, today for my World Theater presentation, I would like to introduce you to the Japanese Kabuki theater. So, Japanese Kabuki theater comprises of three kanji characters, ka, bu, and ki, meaning scene, dance, and scale from left to right. So Japanese Kabuki theater is a stylized classical dance drama. It originated in the Edo period in the 17th century, so it has a period of over 300, has a history of over 300 years. And also, it is invented in the period of a patriarchal time when the status of women was very low, so that usually the women involved in the play were put at low status, and they are like subservient to males. And at the time of its convention, it was eligible for both male and female performers, but then the militaristic Bakufu government, ruled by males, thought that the females were connected to prostitute affairs, so they very rudely banned females from performing so. So now it is eligible only for male performers. However, male performers are also allowed to explore female roles in a way known as onagata. And there are two types of tales of kabuki, known as jidaimono and sewamono. Jidaimono usually depicts a very noble warrior or a famous historical figure acting very violently and bravely. And this performer is allowed to explore a style called alagoto, which is literally a grown-up male acting as a super powerful hero of justice. So it is very impressive, actually. And there is also another type of tale called sewamono, which depicts more worldly and mundane events, such as the romantic relationship between young men and women. And this allows onagata to explore the style of wagoto, which is rather gentle and soft like women, and characterizes the patriarchal beauty of women at that time. Now, Japanese Kabuki theater has a number of performance conventions, and today I want to focus on its body movement. As I said before, there are two types of styles called wagoto and elagoto. Although there are a number of wagoto performances, it is elagoto that is especially amazing and impressive. So today I would focus more on elagoto. And for elagoto performance, they have to employ exaggerated and heavy postures in a way known as kata, which literally is how you do the body movements in elagoto. And the kata must correspond to the exact disposition and emotions of characters at that time in a certain scene on a certain occasion, so that it will be most vivid and truthful. So that's why some experts say elagoto or kata is developed after reading the work carefully, capturing the character's shonen, which is in their mind, truthfully, and integrating it with the performer's own blood, so that when you see an elagoto performance, you will feel as if the noble warrior is alive again. It's very vivid and truthful. And I will make a small connection of this Kabuki theater convention to the Japanese culture. Usually in Japan, for one traditional art, the master has only one student who takes his family name when the master dies. And the student, when he dies, he also has another student to take his name again. This name is called myoseki, and this process of inheriting names is called shumei. So kata, along with myoseki, are usually passed on from teachers to students. So Japanese people have this practice of inheriting from generation to generation so that their arts could be passed down and to this day. So it's very impressive, right? But every person, every student is also allowed to develop a style based on his own unique understanding of the work and integrate that with that teachings of his teacher so that he could possibly mix it and make a style that nobody else could imitate. Now, since elagoto is especially amazing and impressive, I would like to introduce you to a moment of theater of elagoto. The play I chose is Yoshitsune Senbonzakura. It is one of the most famous plays of elagoto, and it is also the play when the famous song Senbonzakura gets its name from. And the scene I chose is scene 2, Fushimi Inari, which is the name of a religious shrine. So in this scene, Yoshitsune is a noble warrior of Japan, and he has a wife called Shizuka Gozen. And the couple are chased by a couple of soldiers from their enemies. And during their exile, the couple accidentally parts, and Shizuka Gozen has to hide in a religious shrine called Fushimi Inari. But then she was cornered by a couple of soldiers from her enemies who want to rape her because of her beauty. So at this dangerous moment, a friend of Yoshitsune called Sato Tatanobu stands out and acts as a brave person to protect Shizuka Gozen from those enemies. So this is when the performer Ichikawa Enosuke does the elagoto, which is extremely impressive. And Enosuke is also the third generation of Ichikawa artists, and you can see that Ichikawa is also a Myoseki. Now let's watch a video clip of this performance. This is Sato Tatanobu. You see that he acts very violently and bravely. There are two enemies to corner him. They start fighting. And you can see the central figure is Sato Tatanobu. This is a simplification and stylization of the fierce fight. So you can see that Sato Tatanobu is really the great violent. He is the main figure in this fight, and he defeats his enemies. And now he is again trying to demonstrate his great power. Okay, so as myself, I have also tried to explore this moment of theater, and I will also perform a physical demonstration of this excerpt myself. And today I have the honor to invite two of my friends to help me with this play, Sam and Chris. And now I will do it first. The enemies will come, and we start fighting. And at one moment, I try to show that I'm very brave. And we continue fighting. And at last, I grab the arm of one enemy and chases the enemies. And finally, I demonstrate my power again. So you see, throughout the performance, I've used a lot of body movements, very violent and brave, to exaggerate and show my power and great courage in the performance. So that is actually very impressive. But it'd be much more impressive if it's performed by Ichikawa and Enosuke. And also, it's very exhausting. I actually started sweating. Okay, so finally, I want to give some final reflections of what I have learned throughout this World Theater presentation. Firstly, I learned to appreciate the rich history and culture of Japan through its noble warriors and political figures' stories. And also, I have learned how to push the limit of my poster use further. So you see that I employed a lot of posters during my physical demonstration and my learning of Japanese kabuki theater. So as I see myself, poster is an essential element of kabuki plays, and as well as all plays, so I must work on it better so that I will develop better performance skills. And also, to push the limit of my poster use, I had to integrate my poster use with the emotions of characters into the performance. So I must also act as kabuki play performers, like reading the word carefully and capturing the character's shone. I must also do this so that I will be most vivid and truthful in recreating the scene. Finally, as an audience of kabuki plays myself, I admire kabuki plays a lot, and the audience effect to me is both emotionally and spiritually moving and appealing. As I said before, I feel as if the noble warrior is alive again in front of me. Okay, so that's all for my Kabuki World Theater presentation. Thank you for listening.